Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's me, Mr. 4K. So, I don't know if you guys remember, I did a video a couple of weeks ago, I believe, a video titled Why I Changed My Mind on Xbox Game Pass. And on that video, I was referring to the bigger picture that Phil Spencer had in mind. And as you all know, prior to me making that video, I was very critical of Xbox. And one of the main reasons I was critical of Xbox is because I didn't understand what their objective is. I didn't understand like in which direction the Xbox is going. And it was confusing to me as it was to many other Xbox owners who are subscribed to Game Pass. They were essentially asking the same questions like, what is the goal of Phil Spencer here? What is he trying to achieve? Is he focusing on the first party games or is he focusing on something else? There was too many, red flags that people just didn't understand what was going on with the company, right? Well, on that video, I finally realized the bigger picture. And I think I pretty much explained it on that video. So for those of you who would like to know more, you can go watch that video. What I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to confirm to what I already confirmed on my prediction of me seeing the bigger picture. And I called it. I called that on that video. And here we are now, November 14th. It's exactly what I have called it out to be. And you know what? I hate to be always right. You know, I'm not a prophet. Okay. I'm not Nostradamus. Okay. But once I do my research and once I can see a trajectory as to where it's going to go, then I'm very confident that's where it's going. And that's really essentially what has happened here. So, as you are all aware, today on November 14th, 2024, uh, Craig McNeary, Senior Director of Xbox Marketing, made an announcement that this is our new marketing campaign regarding the Xbox. So, this is Xbox. So, what does this mean? Well, let's read this very quick and then I'm going to tell you how I feel about this. This is the following that he wrote, Senior Director, Xbox Marketing, Craig McNeary. At Xbox, we are building a future defined by player choice, where people can play their favorite games, discover new adventures, and connect with friends, wherever and however they love to play. We also believe that gaming should be easy to access and available for everyone. So whether you are have an Xbox console, play on PC, with Samsung Smart TVs, handhelds, mobile phones, Amazon Fire TV, or MetaQuest headset, with a Game Pass Ultimate, you can play with Xbox. So essentially what he is saying, it's exactly what I have been determined a final conclusion that I have determined this final conclusion on my video that I did called um, "Why I Changed My Mind on the Xbox Game Pass," and that it's exactly what I have determined. I have determined that final conclusion that Xbox it's not a uh, a console brand that we remember from back in the days. All right, we have to stop thinking of Xbox as a console brand, even though they have a console and you can play on it, you can use it, it's still there, but that's not their main focus. So, what is their main focus? As I have determined on my conclusion and prediction on that bigger picture on that video that I did, it's exactly that. It's a service. Xbox is a service. It's a service that it's available for anyone who wants it. Okay? And you're not being forced to buy a $500 console. You're not forced to build a super expensive PC or buy an expensive gaming PC, laptop, right? You're not forced to play a certain way. You are given the freedom to choose on how you want to play. And essentially, that's the whole point here of Xbox campaign. This is an Xbox. And the question is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? And I think this is really where the question comes in. And I think that's what you guys want to know. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I know that a lot of you out there would look at this and say, oh, this is a bad thing. I don't look at it that way. I don't see it that way. I see this as an opportunity for this company to grow and evolve. Listen, no one even believed that Microsoft would be able to create a console to be successful and to compete with Japan, to compete with likes of Sega, Sony, and Nintendo, right? With Nintendo and Sega and Dreamcast and PlayStation, Sony, right? PlayStation 2, but they did, and they were very successful with the original Xbox back in November. I think tomorrow's the anniversary, November 15th, 2001. So they were very successful with the Xbox, and then with the Xbox 360 they became super very successful. So they already have conquered the console war. They already been there. They competed with the big dogs, with the big behemoths, right? And they were able to hold their own. They have proven that. So now it's time for them to evolve into something different. First, they started with the Game Pass, and now through Game Pass, now they're trying to evolve as a service for anyone who wants it. No different than Netflix or Amazon Prime, right? Amazon Prime, Netflix doesn't care where you want to watch their service. Disney Plus, HBO Max doesn't care where you want to watch their service. Pick and choose a platform. We don't care. As long as you are, a paying member of our service. And I think that's what the Xbox is trying to do. They're trying to focus on the service aspect. And I think that's a great thing. I don't like the boundaries. This is something about me that I don't know if people know or didn't know is I'm not a fan of boundaries. I'm not a fan of putting the boundaries, setting the barriers as to where can you play? Can you play here? Can you play there? I don't like that. I like to be able to pick and choose where I want to play. I like to be able to pick and choose where I can experience these games. I don't like to be forced to play only a certain way. And I think that is a major difference between Sony and Microsoft. Sony, it's very strict about their ecosystem. Where can you play their games and how can you play their games? And where are you eligible to play their games? Right? It's almost like a dominatrix where she's telling you, okay, go to your corner, whatever, stay here, stay there, And that's how like Sony is treating its customers. No different than Apple. Like Sony and Apple are kind of in the same boat, because of those boundaries and barriers. I have iMac, I have MacBook Pro, I have several iPhones in the past, and then I've switched to Samsung, and I never went back to iOS. I never went back to Apple. And one of the reasons I never went back to Apple, and I have Apple TV 4K devices. I got first, second, third generation. But my issue with Apple and Sony is the barriers on their ecosystem. Everything has to be through them. Like you need to have their authorization. Everything has to go through them. You have to comply with them. You have to go through them. Every little decision you want to make on your Sony, on your console, has to go through, approval of PlayStation. Same thing with the Apple, has to be approved by PlayStation. And there are boundaries and limitations. And of course, I don't have time to go through all those boundaries and limitations, because otherwise this video will be, half an hour to an hour long. Maybe on a podcast we can talk about this. And I'll be more than happy to explain those boundaries and those barriers that Sony has and Nintendo has and Apple has, and how they're all very similar to each other. The only difference between Sony and Apple is Apple is the American brand, Sony is the Japanese brand. Same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo is a Japanese brand, Apple is the American brand. That's the only difference. But they're operating pretty much in the same strategical business, formula. And they have a lot of boundaries and barriers that they put. A lot of limitations. That's what I mean by by boundaries. Boundaries meaning limitations. They put a lot of limitations. And like I said, I don't have time to go through all those limitations, because otherwise the video will be to half an hour to an hour long. However, Microsoft, it's divorcing itself from that. They have made the decision, hey, we're not going to do that. That's what they meant when they talked about those slimy things. When Phil Spencer says, we don't want to do those slimy things. Remember, there was an interview that Phil Spencer had an interview with Ryan McCaffrey. And he said to Ryan, I said, listen, we don't want to do those slimy things that, others are doing. And he didn't say specifically who, but looking at the reply from Sean Layden, which is the former head of PlayStation, we can tell that he was referring to Sony, right? And rightly so. Now, I have Sony. I love my Sony. But I have to be honest, as a Sony fan, I don't like those boundaries. I don't like those limitations. Sony makes a great quality, don't get me wrong. But PlayStation definitely has boundaries and barriers and limitations, okay? Which I can talk about this on a separate video, because I don't have time right now to explain what those boundaries and limitations are. Same thing with the Apple. If you know, then you know what those boundaries are. On the Microsoft, that's not the case. On the Microsoft, on the Xbox Game Pass, you are free to play these games however you want to play them. As long as you are the member of the Game Pass service. As long as you're paying customer, a monthly paying customer of the service, Xbox and Microsoft is telling you, we're not here to judge. We're not here to force you on how you want to play. Play any which way you want to play. Do you want to play on a PC? Do you want to build a super high-end PC and enjoy our entire library of games on that super high-end PC? Hey, go right ahead. Do you just want to play on a cloud and use your Chromebook and play on a cloud? Go right ahead. Do you want to play on your MetaQuest and just play on a MetaQuest? Go right ahead. Play on a MetaQuest. Do you want to play on your tablet and just play on your tablet? Go ahead. Play on your tablet. Do you want to play on your Samsung TV and just on your Samsung TV? Go right ahead. Do you want to play on your Amazon Fire TV stick? Go right ahead. Or do you want to buy one of our consoles and play on our consoles from the most affordable to the most expensive to the mid-range of digital? Go right ahead. And I think that's essentially what Xbox is trying to tell us. But even furthermore, what Microsoft is doing, they're like, hey, even for those of you who are not a paying members of our service, we're still going to let you enjoy our games on your console. So if you're a PlayStation user, we will let you enjoy Indiana Jones. We will let you enjoy Sea of Thieves. We will let you enjoy the Doom, Dark Ages, and some other upcoming games we're going to let you enjoy. But the only difference is you have to pay for those games. But if you are part of the Xbox service, you don't have to. So I like this. I think this is a great business strategy. And I'm looking at this from a business perspective. I'm not looking at this from some kind of a Xbox fanboy perspective. Okay. And I know a lot of you want to look at it from an Xbox fanboy perspective. I'm looking at this from a business perspective, and I would say from a business perspective, this is a great idea. And this is that big picture that Phil Spencer has been talking about. This is what it's all about. It's about bringing this bigger picture of Xbox as a service. And you know what? Maybe this will encourage Sony and Nintendo and even Steam to reconsider how they move about with future of gaming, right? What have we seen in the past 5 years from Sony? We didn't see that many new IPs or the new exclusive games that came in for Sony. It's been pretty dry, right? And we really don't know in what direction is Sony going to go. But I think this could inspire Sony to think about, maybe we should think about doing something like this too. Maybe Sony will end up going in this direction as well. I mean, they already have the platform called the PlayStation Plus. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't get inspired by this. I think Sony is waiting to see how successful this is. If Microsoft is successful as they were with the Game Pass, if they are successful with this new campaign, there's no question in my mind the others will follow. Sony, PlayStation will follow. Nintendo will follow. And pretty sure Steam, for sure, will follow as well. You might see Steam, coming to consoles, coming to your television, coming to, cloud. I could easily see Steam going to a cloud direction. Maybe through GeForce Now and through some other ways, maybe their own servers, who knows. But I also made another prediction. I talked about the cloud gaming, and I still stand by cloud gaming. I made this prediction. I was right about this prediction about Xbox as a Xbox service, but I think I'm also right about my prediction for a 2030, early 2030, late 2031, we'll see cloud gaming become like the new standard. I think you'll see cloud gaming become a new standard. There's no question in my mind. I mean, it's already becoming a standard. So let's be honest here. But 5 years from now, it'll become truly a standard where simply the need of a console, and even with the PS5 Pro, you can see that there's a drop-off with the need of a console. Seems to be a drop-off there. That's because things are changing, guys. We're almost in 2025. You can't be living in the past in this old ways of thinking. And I know a lot of you nostalgic, having this old way of thinking, right? You have to grow out of that. You have to keep up with the times. Times are changing. Everything's changing. You have to keep up with the times. So, same thing here. Xbox is evolving, and I'm pretty sure Sony will be evolving as well, as will Nintendo and many others. They will follow. Steam as well. That's just part of evolving and growing. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I actually like this. I don't think this is a bad decision, in my opinion. I know a lot of you will disagree with me, but I like this. I'm all about the options, man. I don't like boundaries. I don't like barriers. I'm not a fan of boundaries, barriers, limitations. I don't like to be told, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. I don't like that. I like freedom. I like the freedom to choose. Let me choose, right? Let me choose how I want to play these games, where I want to play them, how I want to play them. Let me choose. And this will only grow Game Pass as a subscription. It's affordable. It's easy to sign up and pick up and play. This is the missed opportunity that Google has missed out on with the Stadia. And that's where the Microsoft came in, huh? You didn't see it coming, did you? Listen, Microsoft was never in competition with Sony. Since 2019, they stopped. I realized, I wasn't sure, but in 2019, I was thinking about this. I said, you know what? I don't think Microsoft is in competition with Sony. I think they were in competition with Google and Amazon because of Stadia. And now with Stadia out of the picture, and now with the Amazon, right? They have the partnership with Amazon. Now they're free as a bird. So anyway, that is the bigger picture. I hope this video helps you give you a better perspective on how I feel about this new campaign, this new look of Xbox as a brand. Please leave a comment down below, but do me a favor. If you're going to leave a comment down below, please leave a comment down below respectfully. That's all I ask for. It's just, you can have your opinions, but leave your opinions respectfully. That's all I ask for. All right, well, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that the video is 21 minutes, but there's so much I needed to say here. And I hope you liked the video. Please leave a comment. And if you don't mind, leave a like, dislike, subscribe, become a member. It's all appreciated. Share the video. Sharing it's caring. Thank you. Thank you, guys.